Some of the things we've been taught to accept as normal were never normal. They were warnings meant to keep us in line. Welcome back to the Revolution Resolution. I'm Anna Malaika Tubbs, sociologist and New York Times bestselling author of Erased and The Three Mothers. Thank you for taking these 5 minutes to understand not just the system we've inherited, but how it shows up in our daily lives. Today, we're talking about the reminders, the small and large signals American patriarchy sends to keep people in their place. These reminders begin early. From a young age, many of us are taught how to dress appropriately, how to shrink ourselves to avoid being targeted, how to walk, speak, and move in ways that keep us safe, how to modify our behavior because someone else might respond with harm. And we're taught often implicitly, if something happens to you, it's your fault. You should have known better. You should have followed the rules. This is the quiet voice of American patriarchy, assigning responsibility to the most vulnerable instead of to the people and the systems causing the harm. Everyday reminders are tools of power. A catcall on the street isn't a compliment. It's an assertion of domination. Sexual harassment isn't just misbehavior. It's a message about who holds power. Domestic violence isn't a private issue. It's the predictable result of a hierarchy that teaches some people they are entitled to control others. None of these incidents exist in isolation. They are different expressions of the same root system, a hierarchy that depends on fear and imbalance to survive. These reminders shape how people move through the world, what they believe they deserve, what they think they can say no to, what they think they must tolerate, what they think is just how life is. And this is exactly why the system enforces them. But the reminders don't stop with the initial harm. There is a second layer of punishment. Friends who dismiss or mock the person who speaks up, families who minimize abuse because they don't want conflict, employers who retaliate against someone who reports harassment, law enforcement officers who don't believe survivors, or worse, who contribute to the violence themselves. These are not unfortunate coincidences. They are part of the system's design. American patriarchy has always relied on consequences, not just for breaking the rules, but for naming that the rules are unjust. This is why so many people choose silence, not because they don't know something is wrong, but because they know speaking up invites another layer of harm. And this is where clarity becomes liberating. When you start to understand that these reminders are tools of a system, not reflections of your worth, something shifts inside of you. You begin to realize you were never meant to carry the blame. You were never meant to interpret these harms as personal failures. You were never meant to think you caused what was done to you. These reminders say nothing about your value. They reveal the system's fear of your power. And once you see the pattern, you can start choosing differently. You can start reclaiming pieces of yourself that were taken. You can start imagining a world where harm is not used to maintain order, and where we no longer confuse control with safety. Thank you for joining me for the Revolution Resolution. If today's episode helped you see these patterns with more clarity and less self-blame, I hope you'll share it. I hope you'll subscribe. and I hope you'll bring someone along the journey with us. I'll be back in a few days with your next step toward freedom.